Hi, this is Lauren, and in today's video I will be showing you how I created this fun slimline shaker card using the Witch's Lair 6x6 stamp set and also the Witch's Lair add-on 4x8 stamp set. So here are the stamp sets, and I colored and cut elements from those stamp sets to add on to my shaker. And to create my shaker front, I used a slimline die from my stash, and then I die cut 3 panels with these 3 windows in them. I die cut 3 of them, and then I adhered them together to create my wells for my shaker embellishment bits. And here I am adhering with liquid glue all of them together, and I just used Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock for those. And then I am going to create the front acetate window part for this shaker card, and to do that I just cut another one of those 3 window panels. And then I am adding some double-sided tape, and I like using double-sided tape for adhering on acetate because it just gives a very strong bond or stick to the acetate, so I don't have to wait for glue to dry or anything, and it doesn't shift around when I adhere it. So I just add the tape on, and then I will remove the backer tape or the backer paper from the tape and adhere on my acetate that I trimmed to slimline size, which is a 8.5 by 3.5. And then you'll see I'm kind of struggling with this backer tape, or backer paper I should say. And I don't know about you, but I seem to just really have a hard time removing backer paper from tape for some reason. And this isn't the only struggle you'll see me having today. There are quite a few struggles. I am having a hard day for some reason. Maybe I hadn't drank enough coffee at this point in my day. So here I am taking off the backer paper, and then you'll see me adhering on the acetate and that I had trimmed, and I end up, there's a little left that extends, a little bit of the acetate that extends beyond the border of the perimeter, or the border of the panel. So I just use my scissors to trim that off. And then I use my liquid glue to adhere it onto the stack that I had created earlier. And that will make my wells. I'll have 3 wells for my shaker. And I am using just cardstock to create the wells because the shaker embellishment pack that I'm using, or that I will be using, is Black Magic embellishment pack from Possum Stamps. And this is a beautiful sequins mix that has blacks and golds and purples in it, and it's fairly flat, so I feel that the cardstock will give just enough depth to get good movement. So here I am creating my background, and what I'm doing is I just sprayed some water onto my glass mat, and then I dropped in some shimmery magical pigment powder from Lindy's Gang, and this powder is Witch's Potion Purple from their Haunted Halloween mix. And then I put my cardstock, which is a Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I like using Bristol Smooth because it seems to take some water better than just regular Neenah Solar White cardstock. And it doesn't seem to damage the fibers of the water doesn't seem to damage the fibers. And because I didn't want to use a heavy watercolor cardstock for this, I just wanted to have some Bristol Smooth. So, and you'll see that after I smoosh my cardstock on, it has some streaks in it, So I thought I'd be able to get those streaks out by just dropping in a little bit more pigment. And you'll see when after I've dried it, I dry it off camera using my heat gun, that those streaks have disappeared. And I'm just blowing some water and pigment around with the air blower. So there's the dried panel, and then I trim it down to my 8.5 by 3.5 size, and then I use the embellishments that I have, or the elements that I have colored and die cut off camera using Prismacolor colored pencils. And then here I am just working on my placement. So I want to make sure that I get my placement good before I permanently adhere everything down. So I'm just working on the placement, and I am adding some of the brick elements, which I think just really adds to the feel that this is a witch's lair. And these bricks come from the witch's lair stamp set, the 6x6 stamp set. So I've just repeat stamped a bunch of them and then die cut them out. And so I think that's the way I want it. So then I go ahead and adhere everything down. Those pumpkins, and you can see you'll see me struggling a bit here with the whole process of adhering everything down. Everything from my picker tool or pick-me-up tool or whatever to, just not being able to adhere things on straight or tuck things behind things. It's just minor struggles, but many of them. And then I add in the bubbles from my cauldron. And then, the picker tool, for some reason, I just can't get it to work right. So, and then I try, placing my liquid glue directly on the background, and that was not working all that great. But anyway, there we go. And I wanted this shaker card to kind of have the feel of peeking into a witch's lair, a secret witch's spot where, she brews her potions and magical bits. So I took that cute, adorable little cat. She's just the sweetest little thing, laying on a stack of books. And the books, you can see I have added the spells and tricks and potions, I think it was. Yes. And those words come in the stamp set, the Witch's Lair stamp set. So what I did was I just stamped them onto the spines of the books using black ink. And you'll see me here too, again, struggling just to get that tucked behind the cattail and behind the bookshelf. And it's just, whew. And there I adhere on my bricks, and then those potions. And I just love those potion bottles. The attention to detail in these sets, and all the possum sets, is fabulous. That cute little mouse, and then look, check out the eyeballs on that potion. And then I love, one of my favorite potions is the one here with that skull. Isn't that awesome? Just love it. And there are lots of potions in this set. So you've got plenty of options. And then I adhere my last potion on. And then more of the bricks. And there we go. That's the biggest faux pas I made, is I dumped that whole tray of sequins, and here I am just working through it. I dumped it, and it's like, oh, keep calm, carry on. So off camera, I picked it all up, and just look at all the sparkle and gold and shimmer in that set. And you'll watch here as I make a big mistake. So I am adding the sparkle blend to, or the shimmer mix, I should say, to my background. And just to make sure that I have the correct amount that I want. I don't want too many shaker bits, but I just want enough to get some movement. And you'll see I adhere on with the liquid glue. I put a lot on there to get a nice good seal, and then I just smoosh it all down, making sure everything's in place. However, the mistake I made was I had piled up all those beautiful sequins in a pile, and I meant to flatten that out, spread them out so that they weren't laying on top, the sequins weren't laying on top of each other when I added my shaker panel front, and I didn't do that. So I have a couple clumps of shaker bits or sequins that are loaded on top of each other, so they're not moving as well as I would have liked, because I didn't put them one layer. I had kept the pile a pile. So yeah, that's the big mistake. I would have changed if I could have. So here I am adding a couple sentiments to the center, or the inside, I should say, of my card. I didn't want any sentiments on the outside. I wanted to keep it kind of clean without words. And so inside, from the add-on set, I added "Have a Wicked Birthday" in black ink, and then "Let's Brew Up Some Fun" underneath. And then you'll see I'm priming the stamp set, or the stamp, because I hadn't used it before. So tapping it and touching it will get it so that it doesn't stick to the paper when you ink it and stamp it for the first time. And then I wanted a little spider coming down from the tail of the P. And I thought I'll try it out first using some copy paper, but I didn't use a magnet to hold down my copy paper, so that was a disaster. So I just took a chance, and it was lined up right. So good intentions, but didn't pan out. But it worked out well in the end. So there we go, my shaker inside, and then I hit the arm of my camera. Sorry about that. And here I am gluing up the panel, the shaker, on, and then adhered it to the front of the card base, which is a Nina 180-pound cardstock. And there we have it, some shaker cards. So thank you for visiting and seeing all my struggles. Please like and subscribe, and here are some videos that we think you might like. Thanks again. Bye-bye.